James Dean, the iconic actor whose magnetic presence and rebellious spirit made him a cultural icon of the 1950s. Born in 1931, Dean's brief but impactful career left an indelible mark on Hollywood. His performances in films like Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden and Giant showcased his raw talent and emotional depth. While refining his craft at the prestigious Actors Studio, Dean's brooding charisma and trademark red jacket made him the epitome of teenage rebellion and youth culture. He became a symbol of a generation yearning for change and authenticity. Tragically, Dean's life was cut short in a car accident in 1955, but his legacy endures, influencing generations of actors and capturing the essence of teenage angst. And did you know? James Dean had a passion for magic and enjoyed performing tricks, adding an intriguing layer to his multifaceted personality beyond his acting talents.
September 30th, 1955. James Dean takes to the road for the last time, heading for Salinas and an appointment with destiny. At the wheel of his Porsche, the 24-year-old carves out his place as the ultimate icon.
I don't think anyone will ever be remembered after their death, 50 years like James Dean is. He's a name today, probably more so than he was when he was alive.
In Hollywood, what it is, even today, which is really amazing, people will say about a new young actor, maybe he's the next James Dean. And they've been saying that for 50 years.
James Dean.
I guess you're about the best looking gal we've seen around here in a long time.
The star who became a legend, who spoke for all the restless young as no one has before or since.
Why, thank you, Jen.
At his death, James Dean is still almost an unknown and has just completed his third film. But the three roles he plays and his particular personality confer on him the image of the consummate rebel. His mark on Hollywood is indelible.
I don't think many people know that he was only in Hollywood 16 months and did 3 major films. And Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley had a Hollywood experience that was much longer than that.
They predict that Elvis Presley will be another James Dean. Now, have you heard that?
I've heard something about it, but I would never compare myself in any way to James Dean because James Dean was a genius.
He made East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, 16 months, and race cars, and boom, and he was dead. And it's just...
It is February 1955, the last time he visits his family and his cousin's last memories.
No one had any idea that we were never going to see him again. The fact that Dennis took all his photos and they've been in magazines and books and things, you know, every time I see one of them, it brings back memories, you know, of when he was here. And it was a very happy time. It was right after Christmas, and I got this little Jaguar toy, and it was a car that you could take apart and take the wheels off and take the motor out of. And, you know, he got down on the floor with me and played with that.
For a joke, Dean asks Stock to take a photo of him in a coffin. 8 months later, his body would once again lie in the same funeral parlor.
On the farm, he was all right, but then I photographed him in a coffin. He wasn't so all right. You know, that there was an unbalanced human being there.
Unwittingly, Dennis Stock provides posterity with a different Jimmy Dean, the fragile and touching farm boy whose life began with a tragedy.
Jimmy's mother died when he was 9 years old, and he came here to live with my folks. My mom and dad raised him from age 9 until he left here after graduating from Fairmount High School. And to me, he was just like an older brother.
He is coming from a quiet place, but he's still a very angry young man. because he lost his mother when he didn't want to. And nobody can explain to him why. So he is rebellious.
"52 years later, this small town in Indiana still celebrates its own Hollywood rebel. Every September, tens of thousands of fans and admirers flock to the James Dean Festival.
We're studying this subculture that's called gravers. And gravers are men and women of all backgrounds, socioeconomic level, ethnic backgrounds, who are interested with dead celebrity icons.
We get James Dean fans that visit Fairmount from all over the world, and you can't tell a James Dean fan by looking at them. Artists, doctors, lawyers, punk rock kids, you know, bikers.
What makes an icon successful, one that can be long-lasting and have a long following, is they have to have a number of things. First of all, they have to have a place. You know, a place where people can go and walk where they walked and see what they saw and touch what they touched.
And I'm looking for the name of the three actors. The three actors